Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome back to a Terran versus Zerg on the map Golden Wall. Now what I've got for you today is a professional match between two absolute channel favorites. Several of you reached out on Twitter and mentioned, Lowko, if you didn't see the game on Golden Wall between these two, you should really go ahead and check it out. And one person even called it the best Terran versus Zerg they had ever seen. Now, I mean, I've seen a lot of good Terran versus Zergs, okay? So I don't really know exactly about that, but I'm excited to find out what this game is all about, as two SCVs are apparently already making their way towards what seems to be the other side of the map. Where are you going? Okay, right over here. A little bit of Proxy Barracks action. Yep, a little bit of Proxy Barracks action. Spawning here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map with the red Terran SCVs from South Korea, we have none other than INnoVation. Now, Zerg going for a drone scout? That's possible? I thought that was illegal. We never really see this. Most of the time in the early game, Zerg players obviously scout with overlords. Now, I've got a feeling, though, that the blue Zerg player here is gonna find both of these barracks. There we go. Playing with the blue Zerg drones in the bottom right-hand corner of the map and pulling a couple more boys now. Okay, maybe a little bit excessive there. Okay, yeah, he does send a couple back. But playing here with the blue Zerg drones, we have Reynor. Alrighty, so he's gonna start the harassment right here on the side of the barracks. Not very common at all for Zerg players to go for drone scouts early. Now, one barracks does finish up. That's really important right here for INnoVation. If both would have actually been cancelled, that would have been a disaster, because then, well, I mean, what are you gonna do, right? You can't go for a factory anymore. I guess you have to restart everything at home. Reynor does continue working right now on this one barracks that did not finish. Probably worried that, like, another SCV is hiding somewhere to finish up the structure. Marine does come out though, and a Reaper will be the follow-up. Should be timed relatively well here, I would say. For the Zerg player anyway. Like, he should be able to get himself the Zerglings out by the time that that Reaper arrives on the creep as well. Looks like one drone actually got picked off right there by Martin the Marine. Now one confirmed kill to his name. Drone Scout actually going all the way across the map. Now this one will find out that there is a command center on the top of the ramp. Ooh, that was fast. INnoVation just barely lifting up that supply depot in time, and right now prevents this from getting inside of his main base. Martin the Marine continues working right there on the drone. Drone probably should be able to go around. INnoVation, though, has that Reaper right now in his opponent's natural. Zerglings, though, are out as expected, and I think this should now basically settle into a very normal game. A little bit strange to start, I suppose, right? Very explosive first 2.5 minutes. But this right now looks very much so like a regular Terran versus Zerg. I mean, both players obviously took some eco damage. Oof. A little bit of lost mining time there for INnoVation, obviously, with both of those SCVs in the middle of the map. And obviously also, like, he was forced to cancel that one barracks, and that also hurts. Maybe INnoVation is going to get one more drone kill here, which would be real nice for him. Brenda. Yep, there we go. Brenda trying to come in with the save, but apparently it was not meant to be. 2 worker kills, though. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Now, obviously, this is going to slow down INnoVation's expansion rate as well, right? He decided to make the command center on the top of the ramp just in case. He's right now trying to catch up, okay, I like this, by going for a command center, a third one, inside of the main base once again. So, a little bit risky. If this would be like a roach all-in or something like that from Reynor, and keep in mind here, right, Inno knows that there is no third, like, hatchery anywhere, so he knows that this might very well be an aggressive all-in. This would be a disaster. But, I mean, I don't really see anything too fancy coming up. Reynor going for the lair, going for 2 additional gas geysers as well. I think he's trying to tech up towards what seems to be a quick spire. Maybe get those flappy boys to start going around the map. Now, good scout here by Inno. He wants to see if there's a roach warren or a baneling nest or anything like that. Ooh, nice catch right there by the Zerg player. And right now, that's going to put INnoVation in the dark. He doesn't really know exactly what's going on inside of the main base. All he saw was an additional gas at about, like, I guess this one would started at like 345. Could still be a roach push. Now, apparently, though, INnoVation has decided, okay, since my early game push kind of failed, I'm just going to go full greed. Triple command center straight into fusion core. He's going straight into a battlecruiser opener. He's just completely accepting the fact that if this was a roach all-in, he would be super dead. Reynor right now scouting this as well. There, by the way, is the battlecruiser. But Reynor right now scouting this as well with an overlord. He sees that something is coming up here. Just a classic 1-1-1. He's got the Spire coming up right now as well. Now, most of the time, Mutas aren't that amazing against battlecruisers. But obviously, if you could see the battlecruiser before He obviously has those mutas coming up. He could definitely make Corruptors as well. That would make this quite a bit easier. Zergling speed, by the way, only just now finishing. I didn't quite catch that, but this was a lair before Zergling speed. So likewise also a little bit greedy right here by the young Italian. I guess he's got 3 queens on the ramp though, so they're not really gonna allow any Hellions to slip by. 3rd hatchery only just now coming up. Alright, I like this already, man. This is already a pretty sick game. Now, Reynor is scouting around. He did see the fusion core, so that's good for him. He could definitely start up Corruptors here if he wants to. Maybe he still wants to go Mutas, actually. I'm excited to see how this is going to play out for him. Engineering Bay coming up here at the front. Additional gas is being taken here by Inno as well. So maybe he wants to stick around on mech for a little while longer. Okay. Hellions dive very deep onto the creep. They probably want to hit right at the same time. There we go, as the Battlecruiser as well. Spire finishes up right now. What he's going to make? It's still going to be 7 Mutas. How long can he hold on, though? That's kind of the question here, right? Reynor taking a lot of damage already. He did not make any Spore Crawlers inside of those mineral lines either, so if these units, like, slip by or he takes too much damage here, this could be a disaster. Mutas, though, eventually should be able to clean all of this up, and you know what? I thought this was going to go terrible here for the Zerg, but Queens are pretty good units. He saved up a bunch of energies, or a bunch of energy on the Queens in the front, if I'm not mistaken, and that certainly allowed him to hold on much, much easier there. Now, the Mutas, man, they're on the prowl. Technical jump off cooldown. Or on cooldown, I guess. There we go. Oh, I love it! Good splits as well, though, by Reynor, but a couple of Widow Mines were anticipating this move. Battlecruiser, though, will still go down, but at the very least, a couple of Mutas were killed there in the process as well. Pretty sick move. Another Widow Mine, dude. INnoVation. He has no chill against this kind of stuff. Putting those Widow Mines in really clever locations. Now, look at this, actually. I said he was going to stick around on mech for a little while longer. He's going to stick around on mech for a whole lot longer. Double armory coming up, which means that he's probably planning on upgrading those mechanical units here in just a little bit. 2 additional factories also were added on, both with tech labs. There we go. It's going to be that Hellion Cyclone army composition. This is what we refer to in the business as Battle Mech. So Battle Mech, a very mobile version of mech where you can roam the map with Hellions and then also Cyclones. In the meantime, though, Reynor seems to be going for just Mutas and Zerglings for now. Adding on additional gases first over at the 3rd base, so that's really gonna allow him to get a ton of these Mutas out. He's not really gonna be able to afford a whole lot else. Going up towards a 4th hatchery here too. Very, very heavy Muta focus coming up here by the Italian. Alright. Now I like this. 1 contamination there on a factory. I wonder if this is something INnoVation has already spotted, actually. Muta's right now in the front, trying to get some damage in now. He did see the timing, I guess, of the gases over at the 3rd base, so that's probably the reason why he has decided to start adding on some Thors here as well. Ooh. Cyclones, man, they lock on and they deal a lot of damage there for a very long time. There we go. He was trying to produce some Thors earlier. I guess the contamination forced INnoVation to cancel that temporarily or something along those lines. But he is going to be able to produce himself some Thors, and Thors are absolutely amazing against unmicroed Mutalisks. Double upgrades here as well. So first off, we have the Hellion upgrade, and then over here we have the Cyclone upgrade. So Inno definitely planning on going full mech here, at least for the foreseeable future. Now, on paper, the Mutaling Bane kind of army composition, and there is a Baneling Nest coming up right now as well, it doesn't trade very well at all against Terran mech. It just doesn't. It's really quite bad. There's the Thors, by the way. If Terran manages to get a maxed out army, Zerg has a very hard time fighting it, right? With this kind of unit composition. However, Zerg does have full map control, and since Terran can't really get too much done, I mean, he could maybe, like, harass a little bit with these Hellions, but Zerg should be able to clean that up. Zerg is going to be able to get a ton of economy. So I think that we probably see Reynor here going up to, like, 100 workers, maybe 90 or so in just a little bit. That's going to allow him to basically remax any army that he loses once Terran pushes across the map. So this is not a unit composition where Reynor is going to be playing efficiently whatsoever as far as, like, resources lost goes. He's not going to be taking an efficient trade here in basically any way. But unless he gets, like, really, really big Baneling hits. But most of the time, it's just not the case. Most of the time, it comes down to the Terran player, you know, being contained on a small amount of bases, and then Zerg just simply overwhelming them with reinforcements. INnoVation, though, moving across the map before maxing out. I wonder if this is just going to be like the Janitor crew right over here trying to kill some creep tumors, or if he's actually planning on being aggressive. Mutas immediately are starting to run across, or I guess fly across the map. The flippy flappies. They're making their way across the map right now, trying to see if maybe they can deal some damage inside of the main base. Now, there's still Widow Mines in some locations. They can definitely be a disaster here for Hellions. Or for the Mutalisks, rather. There we go, 10 additional workers going up, and that means that Reynor is going to be sitting at 92 drones. That's a very high amount. This is also the moment where the gold base is really nice. Because Terran is just not going to be able to achieve that much. I guess he wants to really optimize gas income. So he's probably not going to be taking the gold base, actually, because it's only got one Vespene Geyser, but... yeah, the strategy here definitely makes sense, right? So the Hellions right now, this is a little bit awkward. They can't lie on their backs and shoot flames up to the sky, sadly, so... they're going to be picked off quite easily. Now, the Cyclones are going to join the fray as well. One hero Viking apparently feels brave enough to shoot some missiles at those Mutalisks, but Muta's obviously way faster, and they're going to be able to continue right now dealing some damage and maybe even continue scouting here as well. So I think he saw the 4th base, by the way. This 4th base is absolutely critical here for the Terran player. If you would be contained on 3 bases, I mean, we're talking like 15 minutes into the game-ish. If you're on 3 bases as Terran by 15 minutes, you're just gonna mine out. You're just gonna run out of money. Now this, oh my god. Speaking of money, it's probably the most valuable trait you can take as Terran against this kind of stuff. Great move here, back and forth by both of these players. Alrighty. So INnoVation is getting to the point right now where he's pretty much maxed out, right? He's gonna be maxed out very soon. He's got 2-2 finishing. This is going to be the moment where he could go for an engagement. Now, apparently, yeah, Reynor is already rich enough right now to start making moves like this. I think he's just going to right-click onto that planetary fortress and blow it up. How many Banelings does this take? Too many, okay? A couple of Hellions, or a couple of Zerglings, rather, just trying to take the hit. But there we go. Planetary fortress straight up falls. At the same time, ooh, Hellions feel very brave. They move deep onto the creep. More Banelings at home as well to defend against this kind of stuff. Nice connections right here once again by the Zerg player. He just needs to basically have his units once again, right? So there we go. Large amount of Zerglings once again coming up. And that's basically how he's trying to win this engagement. Now, ooh, lots of Mutas though get picked off. If we look at the resources lost right here, heavily in favor of the Terran player. I mean, Zerg losing way more resources, that is. And you know what? This kind of position here is actually not that great for the Zerg here whatsoever, right? There's no siege tanks in this composition, but the Banelings can't really, like, deal that much damage in a choke point like that. These units are big, man. The big daddy Thors, they take up a lot of space, and therefore you can't get that much splash damage. Alrighty. So, base gets cleaned up. A couple of Zerglings once again get roasted as well. Roasted. Yep, no, they're not going to be able to get much done. And while they seem to accept their fate there for just a little bit, INnoVation is going to be able to reconstruct his 4th base at this point. Alrighty. Nice. Great back and forth here so far. I'm really, really liking this. This is the kind of Terran versus Zerg that I love seeing, man. All of this takes so much skill. Like, I really want to emphasize that. It's so easy to lose all of your stuff. Like, Hellion Cyclone, it dies to Banelings so quickly. If you don't micro properly, you lose all of it. Likewise, I mean, these Mutas and then the Zerglings, obviously, they get roasted really, really quickly just by a couple of Thors and maybe a couple of lockdown Cyclones. These Mutas are gone. They're gone in a heartbeat. Now, apparently, you guys know how I feel about those bad boys on the production tab, right? Let's just call them average lists. The mediocre lists are going to be joining the battlefield again very, very soon. I've seen a lot of games where Zerg players go for Ultralisks and they just lose as a result of them going Ultralisks. I hope that is not going to be the case right here for Reynor, but this is a scary amount of Banelings, by the way. How many Banelings is that? He's going to go over 50 Banelings. That's basically his entire army. It's Banelings and then a couple of Ultras. When this is not on creep, though, yeah, and there's one Battlecruiser also being real annoying, this can definitely be an engagement that the Terran player wins. Now, in the meantime, Zerglings, ooh, the depots are down. They stream into the natural, they stream into the main base as well. Widow Mine over there probably going to deal some friendly fire. One of the SCVs falls. Still, though, the little skirmish over here is not really happening just yet. Okay, here we go. Apparently, this is the moment where Reynor pulls the trigger. Will these Cyclones and Hellions be split up? The answer is yes so far. Are you going to chase them all the way down? The lock-ons here are amazing. Beautiful micro here by INnoVation, showing us what he's capable of when he is on point. And while the Ultras, you know, they come in, they don't really achieve that much. Ooh, there we go. All right. Now, 30 SCVs, by the way, went down during all of that. Guess that must have been the Zerglings. Maybe there was like a Baneling run by somewhere as well. I'm not entirely sure. This planetary fortress, though, 0 kills. So at the very least, it wasn't over here. Another base was taken here by Inno. He's going to be able to morph that into a planetary fortress as well. But honestly, he's in a pretty dire scenario right now. He's behind an army. He's behind an economy. He's behind in expansions. Not really a situation you want to be in. And he's actually also behind in upgrades. Okay. Now, there's a lot of Cyclones out here. They're amazing, obviously. But, I mean, you gotta be so careful if they get surrounded by Zerglings. They just blow up and disappear. Ooh, these are well upgraded Zerglings as well. They're gonna have 3-3 here in just a little bit. Adrenal gland's already done. Alrighty. So, apparently the tech of choice right now for Inno is gonna be Widow Mines with Drilling Claws. So, Widow Mines obviously amazing here. If you can, like, burrow Widow Mines and, you know, have Zerg players deal splash damage, or deal splash damage to the Zerg players, rather, that is certainly one way you can try and claw yourself back into this, but this is still kind of tricky. One thing he did do beautifully up to this point, though, is get rid of the creep. So the creep spread really not that far out, especially not for a player of the caliber of Reynor. And that's not because Reynor is playing poorly, it's because it's constantly denied right here by INnoVation. He can basically dart in and out very easily, maybe even pick off a base over here. He just needs to be careful. If this army gets surrounded, it's gonna be picked off so quickly. Like, Zerglings are gonna chew through these structures, or through these... Well, they're basically structures on wheels, right? But they're gonna be able to chew through all of these units very, very fast. Once again, the Zerglings managed to get in. Getting on top of the production here is nice. Now, this is good positioning as well by INnoVation. Maximizing the damage here of that one Cyclone. And I actually think that this will be a relatively small amount of damage. Couple of SCVs fall here, but nothing really too crazy. But it's gonna add up, right? It's gonna add up very quickly. Now, there's a lot of Widow Mines out here right now, though. Yeah, the lack of creep here is actually really, really good for Inno. If the creep was over here, this would be a disaster. Now, there's a lot of Widow Mines burrowed everywhere. They're connecting so far with most of the Zerg units. That probably was some manual target firing, though, as well there by the Terran player here. Now, we do have some Infestors laying down some fungal growth here as well to try and slow down and root these units in place. So far, though, not the engagement that Reynor is looking for. He once again loses a huge chunk of his army, but obviously he's still basically doubling the income right here of the Terran player. Ultras, though, oh my god, they achieve nothing, man. Ultras really suck. Banelings coming in from the back. Do get a good detonation this time around. Once again, though, more Widow Mines are joining in. They're gonna be able to connect once more with the Zerg army. And I actually think that INnoVation is doing an amazing job here. Fungal growth once again comes up, but there's really not enough to follow this up while I say that. And then the Banelings connect. Good amount of damage done there, but the kiting here is insane. INnoVation getting so much damage out of these Cyclones. Yeah, if you look at resources lost right now, would you look at that? So much more money here lost by Reynor. And actually, if INnoVation can keep this going for a long time, right? At some point, these Zerg bases are gonna run low. Yeah, he's got a lot of drones, but if you have nowhere to mine with them, like already this base over here, heavily oversaturated. He needs to start mining over here in the bottom section of the map, I think. I mean, if this game goes on for a little while longer, that could become a problem. Well, not if you did lose a couple of the drones, I guess. There you go. That fixes that problem. Now you can't oversaturate anymore because you don't have the drones. 200 IQ. Big brain. There you go. Now he's going to be able to saturate this pretty much perfectly. Excellent. All right. Yeah, so the plan here for... oh my god, actually, would you look at that? Reynor burrowing Infestors right next to Widow Mines. Both players don't know. Both players have no idea. Oh, surprise! Trying to land some fungal growths. Does get some pretty good hits, off, but the Widow Mines also connect there. Ah, these Widow Mines, they're dealing so much damage. Widow Mine, Hellion, Cyclone. Is that the ultimate unit composition to stop this, like, mobile Zerg army? Note here, please, by the way, how I'm pretty sure that while he's playing mech, he hasn't made a single siege tank. Isn't that weird? Oh, the base actually falls there to a bunch of Hellions. Once again, the kiting here is insane. And these Ultras, they're just derping around, man. Ultras, you have your speed upgrade, but you still suck. I'm sorry. Dude, he really feels about the Ultras, though. Like, look at this. He's adding on more. He's looking for one great fungal growth, and then he can hopefully connect, but... yeah, just back off. He knows that they're there. Just back off. Has there been a single... No, there has not been a single siege tank here. I mean, unless I'm blind, but I'm pretty sure there wasn't a Zergling or a siege tank here. There are plenty of Zerglings though. Alright. Fungal growth machines. Ready to pounce on the opportunity. He's burrowing all the way over here. Scando does confirm their positioning. And while, yeah, he does land a nice fungal now, by the time that the Ultras walk down the ramp, that fungal has already worn off. And once again, INnoVation, he's actually pulling ahead in supply. Oh my god, hold up. No! He's actually pulling ahead in supply right now. Yeah, so the problem that I was talking about earlier seems to be true right now. Reynor is expanding towards the bottom section of the map. Golden Base, though, has been acquired here as well by Inno. He really hasn't been harassed very much because Reynor is running out of money. He doesn't really have the resources to send in big counterattacks. There's Widow Mines everywhere as well. It's a complete minefield out here. Oh, keep in mind, Widow Mines can do friendly fire as well, but so far, all of these Widow Mines are connecting with the Zerg units. Queens apparently now pulled away from their hatcheries to try and transfuse these Ultras back to full health. When the fights are on creep, they go pretty well for Zerg, but as soon as it's off creep, it's absolutely terrible. Oh my god. Is INnoVation doing this? INnoVation. Insane plays right here by him. By the way, INnoVation has had an excellent couple of months. He's been doing really, really well recently. He's actually just overtaken Maru as the #1 Terran player, or the #1 South Korean StarCraft 2 player on a League leg. Isn't that sick? Here we go. Finally a big Zergling run by though. I mean, but where is it going? It can't go anywhere. Oh my god, that's so awkward. He finally managed to spare some resources to go in for the run by, but there's nowhere to run by to. Darren's getting brave though. He's moving on to the creep. Zergling's also feeling very brave, but they will basically all get roasted. He's gonna need an insane fungal right now to claw himself back into this. Look at the supply count. All of a sudden, INnoVation's maxed out, getting himself a bank. And it's Reynor who's, yeah, just barely scraping by. Once again, good fungal growth, though, does come up. A couple of these Cyclones certainly will be picked off. But as soon as it goes off creep, yeah, Zerg is just no longer favored here. Oh, the March of the Widow Mines. They have all been unburrowed and they're moving a little bit closer. He's going in for the choke right now. Oh my god. Move them a little bit further. Yeah. Move them a little bit further forward again. Dude. You know how leapfrogging siege tanks is super common in this matchup? He's leapfrogging Widow Mines. Waiting for the creep to disappear and then he's moving forward. Oh my god, these Ultras. They achieve nothing. Ultras really suck. I know I've been saying it a lot recently, but man, what have these Ultras done other than soak up tons of resources? They have achieved absolutely nothing. And obviously that's primarily due to amazing micro here by INnoVation, right? Constantly taking the fight off creep and not allowing the Zerg to replace it. But man, absolutely crazy. There's one Brute Lord coming up, but Reynor has decided that it's enough and he taps out. So at some point in this game, it was like 3-base Terran going up against like, what was that? Like 6-base Zerg? And somehow, some way, INnoVation managed to claw himself back into it because he held on for long enough that the Zerg players started running out of mineral patches to mine. Because Zerg always trades so inefficiently with a unit composition like this, he actually managed to somehow, some way, claw himself back into the game and eventually win. Amazing game right there by Inno. I hope that you enjoyed watching it. If you did, hit that like button down below. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Don't forget to smile. And I'll see you once again in the next one.